Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Retro Gaming with Hopper, and as always, thank you for watching. Today we're going to start doing a LED conversion on this Scorpion, 1980 Williams Scorpion. I already got started. I wanted to get some of this done so you could see what it looked like before. You can see how the incandescents are just, you know, kind of gives it a yellow compared to LEDs. Up through here. Now the ramps, this ramp, what I did was I put LED strips on top of the steel ramp so it brightens up that whole area and gives you a lighted area here to your chute, to your ball hole, your kicker hole, and put LEDs behind here so that really brightened up the plastics. Same thing up here. I put LED strips underneath. So now your lane up through here is lit up too. And I put LEDs up in top here to brighten up that corner. So you can see now your kick out hole for your collect right bonus and your special lane is all lit up. And I also put red LEDs under the lane. Looks a little bit too bright, a little washed out on the camera, but it's really nice and red. Now the other side, you can see I didn't do anything over here yet. Like I said, there's still has the incandescents under it, and that's what it would look like with the incandescents. Here are our kickers. Let me grab the kicker plastic. You can see that's what your kicker plastic looks like without the LEDs, which is regular incandescent. And over here, kicker with blue LEDs under it. Big difference. I put a red LED under this lane, and that's without the LED. Same with the center. Nothing in the center yet. And our pop bumpers. We have one. We have this guy with a LED pop bumper light kit in it, which is white on the bottom. Let me grab one. Here they are. This one's yellow, but anyway, you put these underneath your caps. The top of it's red, and the bottom of it's cool white. So it lights up the whole pop bumper. And the one over here is just an incandescent bulb in the top. Big difference. It's going to really brighten up the playing field. We'll put LEDs in all the numbers. I have some new inserts coming because I do want to change this one. I may put some other inserts in just to brighten it up a little bit more. The 1, 2, 3 and the 4, 5, 6. I can't do anything with those because you can't get the new inserts with the numbers on them. I'd have to paint them on, and then that. Nah. And same with down here, our 1 through 10. You can't get those with the numbers on them, so they're going to be just put LEDs behind them. I do know we have a couple of bulbs out. That's on the board. I checked the bulbs. Bulbs are good. So our lamp driver board, we have a bad MOSFET, even though I tested them all, so we have something, we have it probably testing good, but it is bad. And we'll go through on the schematics and we'll find out what runs these bulbs that are out, but that's another video. This video is going to be all about putting LEDs into this and making it look really good. So I'll do some more work on it. I may show you a few things here and there. I may show you how we put those in, put the LED light kit in the pop bumpers. And I don't know, over here we're pretty dark right over in this area here. We had a bad bulb socket. I took it out, but we may not need it. We may put some put an LED strip back in there to brighten up that whole area. I'll see how much the plastic covers up there so we can put an LED in there and maybe it won't be so bright. So let's get busy and do some more work on the LEDs. Now these pop bumper lights are really easy to put in. All you have to do is you take your screws loose. Come on, screw. Take out your old light bulb. Oh, come on. Get out of there. Ah. Oh, man, those are good sockets. Now on your, see you have these little pop bumper lights. You have LEDs on the top and LED on the bottom. Your bottom is white on this one and your top is red. And just take him and we'll plug him right in the socket. And you can see there's two holes for your screws and the cutouts for your thumper ring. You just kind of tuck him up under there, get him lined up. And then we can take our cap, line him up with those holes. Sometimes they're not the easiest. Sometimes magnetic screwdrivers can be a pain. Other times they're great. Got that one started. Now you have your light in. We'll make sure it works. And there you are. Alright, now this area right behind these stand-up targets is really dark. And we have one light down here in the corner. See our plastic goes on here. And you can see, you know, we're really dark in through here. And this corner isn't really lit up nice like that corner is now. On this, we had a bad socket which stood up right here, come right up through here, but that just lights up a little bit here. You know, it doesn't light up these full stand-up targets. And like I said, that one is really dim. You know, it doesn't really light up the plastic really nice. So what we're going to do is we're going to put one of these little guys in. It's got one LED on it with a matrix line, matrix wire, and I have a 10 LED matrix strip. Now these come with other adapters if you're using it in other locations. You have just the bayonet, or not bayonet, the wedge. Wedge? No, bayonet. Bayonet style plug here. But it just has a matrix wire on it. And there's the wedge. You have a wedge connector for the newer machines. And alligator clips for hooking it up somewhere. Or if you're, you know, if you just want to alligator clip it to the general illumination lights, you can. But we don't need that, so we'll throw that off to the side. All these LEDs and matrix I get from Comet Pinball. No affiliation. Just that's where I get most of my LED stuff. Now here, what we'll do is, if I can get in here and get this bulb out, there we go. We will take him out. And then we can slide him down in, maybe. Okay, I got that put down in there. Wasn't fun. Actually had to use a pair of needle nose pliers to get a hold of the side of it and get it pushed down in there. On some of the playing field LEDs, you have to use one of these too, or anything that you can get a hold of it and push it down and turn it, because some of them are kind of flush. You can see how these ones down in here, those ones are flush down in there. Now we have our little matrix wire, and you can kind of take a look and see. We'll put, that would be there. Change hands here, and you can see it would hook up. I know that light's bright, and you can see our 10 LED isn't down far enough. We want this about right behind it. So you can get these little extensions. There's 3, 6, 12, and 36-inch extensions for your matrices. So what we have to do is we have to hook that little guy up. I will put you back in the stand. Okay, can you see all right? Excuse me. What we'll do is we'll put our little extension in. These are just plug and play. Usually. There. Now we can plug in our LED here, strip, and we can see where we'd like to put it. I'm thinking like right behind them targets. I went with an ice blue. I love this ice blue. Now, I always take alcohol. And clean really good where I'm going to be putting my strip. Don't know if there's any oil or wax or anything that's going to hinder it from sticking and staying. Now these have a nice 3M adhesive strip on the back, and if you're lucky you can get it started real easily. And we'll take him, let's see, we want to kind of center him, and when I'm close, get off there, when I'm close to the top, so you don't really see it real prominent from the flippers. Now, and since we have kind of a place to hide our wires, you can tuck your wires right down inside here and unplug it. Get your wires down out of the way so you don't see them. And then we can put our plastic on and see how it looks. Okay, what do you think? Does that help? I think it helps that corner out a lot. Really makes those drop targets stand out. And see, I put that LED strip up high, so you have to really get down low to see it. So it's really hidden, and they're lit up enough now that you can see them to hit them. I don't know how that bulb stayed sitting right there. It was just a single socket sitting in there with a bulb in it. That thing had to have gotten hit a lot. But that helps. And now we'll move on to another area of the playing field and get something else lit up. Okay, now we have this area here. This area is really, you've seen it earlier with the incandescents in. We have this big plastic that goes over it. And it was really dark. Now up here, this socket here, we'll see we have a nice blue part of the plastic. So I think what we will do is, let's try a blue LED in there. See what that looks like. Man, I'm knocking my stuff everywhere. There we go. Alright. What do you think? Is that going to be enough, or should we try a clear? I'm gonna say we try a clear in there and see what that looks like. Might get a little too washed out on the blue. Okay, there's a clear sunlight. That really washes out the blue. I think we go with a blue. I like the blue in there better. Yeah, that's better. I like the blue in there better. Okay. So we got that figured out. Now we have two down here. And we have a green, nice green. And the other one's going to be under the green as well. And the green's pretty dark. Let's try just a couple of clears in it. That looks pretty good. It really brightens up the green. I hate how it washes out the blue. So let's take that clear one out on the end and put a blue one. Put a blue one down in there. That's better. You want it to brighten up, but you don't want it so bright that it washes everything out. Okay, now we have one right here, right behind this stand-up target. That stand-up target's red. Got black down in there. Let's, just for the heck of it, let's see what a red one looks like in there. Ooh. I kind of like that. Kind of lights up your flipper area here too. I think that's what we're going to go with. I kind of like that. You know, some nice colors, but not over the top. What do you think? I like it. That's what we're going to leave it. Now this area here in the middle, I've got a bad socket here that I gotta fix. I can't do anything with that until I get that socket fixed. And that'll be one of the next things we do, is we're going to flip this over and start working on the LEDs underneath. Getting them all put in for all of our flashing lights. So let me do a couple of things here. Let me clean the playing field off, and then we'll work on getting this flipped over. I have a couple other things I want to show you before we get too far and get this flipped over. But let me get my playing field cleaned off, and then I'll go over that with you. Okay, the other things I wanted to go over is, you can see I have an LED strip down in here, down below the drain, and that'll light this area up really nice. We put clear flipper buttons on it, and you can see right in there I have an LED strip here. It'll light up your shooter for your gauging and light up your flipper, hopefully. And did the same on the other side. There, a clear flipper and a matrix strip right down in there. Now these ideas came from TNT Amusements. I kind of copied off of them. That's what they're doing, and it really looks sharp. So we'll do it there. We did a little bit of that on Soccer, but now we're doing it on Scorpion. So what we got to do is get these wired up, and I will flip this playing field over, and we will start working on the bottom side, because we have some lights to change. We have a few sockets to fix. I got one up top here. We didn't do anything up here because I got one dead socket over here, so I got to figure out what's going on there. And like I said, this socket here is just kind of hanging in there, and we'll see if we can get at that and fix that. Okay, with the playing field flipped over, now we can start working on everything top side, or underside I should say. Now it's top side, but it's underside. First thing I did was I checked my sockets. I had two sockets that I thought were dead. And I see we have some hackery going on here that we'll have to straighten up then too. But right now we're concentrating on the lights. Now this one, that one right down in there, that's the one that was all floppy. And as you can see, what I did was I stapled the, there we go, stapled the socket down. It was just kind of sitting in that hole. I don't know if that was from the factory or what. So we got that taken care of. That one's secured. This other one, I don't see anything wrong with it. I don't know, maybe I just didn't have my light bulb pushed in all the way, because when I flipped the playing field it dropped out. So we'll see what that is once we get back with it flipped over. I'm gonna flip it. Now what we're gonna do is I'll show you how I'm gonna wire up your top side lights for your lighting up your flippers and the drain hole on both sides here. It's pretty simple. You know, it's no big deal how to do it. I've had people ask me, you know, will the GI, general illumination, handle it? Well, yeah. There's plenty of voltage and plenty of power coming through. You're lighting all this stuff up on the playing field, and the LEDs take less power, so it's not much of a drain, or any drain at all, on the circuit. What we're going to be doing is we'll be hooking our lights down below here up to this GI socket right here. We'll hook it right up to that one, or maybe that one, no, let's go right over to this socket here. We'll hook it up to this GI socket right there, and I'll show you how to do that. We'll get everything all wired up here, and we'll get everything all hooked up. Let me get you set up on the tripod, on the stand, and I'll show you. We'll get this all wired up. Okay, first thing we're going to do is start mapping out where we're going to go with everything. I do know we're going to need a splitter. We can tie two wires together with this guy. We'll plug him in. Like so. And now we're going to run over to and pick up this other one. We'll use a 12-inch connector. Let's see how that works out. I don't know if there'll be enough. Let's see if I can get it. No, I do want to put it in that. Do want to get it put in the harness here. We can keep everything nice and tidy. I had planned on using a 3-inch. But I know we're going to need another splitter. I don't know if you can see over on the other side. I'll move you over just a little. Put another splitter on the other end. What's nice is these aren't directional, so you don't have to worry about the flow. Oh, where'd I put the other 12? Okay. Now I got another 12 here, and see, that's going to be got quite a bit of wire there. There's a 6. Knew I had some 6s. Perfect. Same thing, we'll sneak him right in there. The wiring harness will plug him in there. I've been plugged in. Now, I already have one that can't use that. It's got the wrong end on it. So, we'll take our 36, take a 36. It's pretty long. I don't know if we can reach it with a 12. Barely. Let's see, let's plug our 12 in. I think we'll just make it. Let me get you set up on the other side, but you can see, get you down off the stand. Now you can see what I did. I come off of our light strip here and connected it to a two-way. The one coming up from the drain hole, that white wire strip, light strip, comes up through here, and we run it across. I'll go ahead and tie this down a little bit better, all the way over to our light strip here, and we come off with our splitter again, and we're going to run all the way up to our general illumination right there. Let me get you put in the stand. With you set up on the other side, what we're going to do is I'll cut the ends off of this. See, we may never. Let's see, we can get to either one of those. This other one's buried down in here, and yeah, I think I'll leave that one alone. I think we'll go right up to that one. Now we got to go way in the back there. Let's see. Now if we route this around, we're going to need a shorty. We can get to this one pretty easy. We can go right up through. And tie into that one. Yep, back to the original. We'll go to that one. Cut the end off. Wire stripped. Now before we solder, we'll turn off the machine. Anytime you're going to be working around the electronics, if you're going to be soldering or anything like that, make sure to, it's better to just to shut it off. Didn't have enough rope on my solder gun. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to tint these wires. Get us routed over where we want. We'll go underneath everything. Now, I'll solder the to the red to the tops, to the very bottom of GI. And the black will go to the very bottom, to the outside of the socket. I can get a hold of it. Okay, now that we're all hooked up, should be able to just flip the switch And our lights will come on. And there you have it. And we have our light strip here lit up. Light strip here lit up. And you can see the one under the bow tie is lit up. So that takes care of that. Now I'll tidy these up a little bit and get them where I like them. And then we'll move on to something else. Start working on changing out these incandescents to LEDs. These ones you can either just bend it up out of the way or just take the screw out and change the bulb. I like to take the screw out. That way I'm not putting a lot of stress on the edge there when you bend it out of the way. Plus, if you pull it all the way up out of the way, it gives you a chance to actually, you can clean the insert. I have a little bit of mean green there on the end of that. You can clean that up really well. It'll make a big difference. May look all dingy and nasty from the top side, but you actually clean it and they're not as bad as, or actually they're almost still like new. They do get a little haze on them after a period of time. They do kind of cloud up a little bit. But the black that's on those inserts is just from mechanical and electronics being on, and switches arcing and all that. It creates a very fine black dust. It's almost a dust, but it's kind of like carbon is what you end up with, filming everything, all over everything. That's why when you start working on this stuff and you start looking, you get black on your fingers. All that is just carbon from switches and solenoids and everything switching on and off and all that. You end up, it just creates this black soot. And I finished up our wiring here for our lights. What I did was I stapled all my wires down so they don't get caught on anything when you're lifting the playing field, and that it just secures it a lot better, and now it's not hanging and getting caught on anything. Now on these big light bars, we have these real big light bars here, and we have a small one right down through the center. On the Williams, it just has this little rubber. These are actually for what they hold the playing field, they're plastics on the playing field down. These ones, you just pull those or unscrew those little rubber dookies, and then you can pull the whole light bar up and change all your lights. And you can get it up out of the way so you can clean your inserts. And I can't do this one-handed, so I'll go ahead and start getting those done, and we'll come back and look at them.